everybody. If you can hear a bit of purgling, Mr. Binkers is sat on Richard's knee, so...
Favourite spot.
Yeah, so if you can hear a bit of vibrating in the background, then that's all it is. It's not some earthquake.
Oh, yeah. He's a good boy. Yeah, here we are again. Like I say, last time we did one was kind of beginning in November. The day before Christmas. Unless you're listening to this in July, then it's sometime in July. And I mean...
In Australia, is it already... No, it's not Christmas Day yet.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
And so, yeah, I mean, where we spoke to you last, I mean, the weather had got cold, there was snow all over the ground, and then all of a sudden, kind of early November, kind of second week of November, everything just warmed up. We had double-digit temperatures, and then it's been no snow, and then it snowed, and then no snow, and...
It's Christmas Eve today, and it was raining when we got up there.
Yeah, it was freezing rain this morning.
Yeah.
It's 7 o'clock, so your birthday's in the beginning of December, and it was one of the first brown birthdays you've had because there was no snow, and it was like
nothing, no.
+5 or whatever it was. So, yeah, it's been El Nino was doing its bit this year, and it's been a bit of a kooky weather year, which, I mean... with the bees is kind of, people say, oh, that's good. Well, it kind of makes them a little more active, and I've been over there a couple of times, and there's been a few flying around and stuff. So the more active they are, the more food they eat. So the more food they eat, the more food they need. So there's always kind of that in the back of your mind, January, February, early February time, will they run out? So again, well, I was talking to an old deer at a market a couple of weeks ago, and I was saying about the weather, and she says, well, we're going to get it. And I says, oh, I know we're going to get it. So everybody's kind of expecting that big snow dump at some point, which will probably be mid-January or something like that. But again, we're nearer to March, April all the time, so I don't like to wish my life away, but we're not having a crazy winter. I've not even put the snow chains on the tractor yet to move any snow because I've not had to. I mean, it's sat there.
Got any snow to move?
It's sat there since October, and well, since I took the mower deck off first week of October, and it's not even turned a wheel. So I'm again not complaining about it. The only complaint
Got to be wary of the bees, and some bee farmers have already lost some.
Yeah, there has been some reports of and so again that's why I went trotting over there to check, because one guy said he'd had really good packed hives in the late summer, early fall, and he went and they're all dead. So I don't know what all gone on, but something's happened. So
and we moved them. I don't know if we mentioned that on the last.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah,
did we?
I think so. Yeah, they're in a slightly different spot in the yard now. But just
to the property now.
Just skipping back to the snow. The only thing is, this time last year we were been cross country skiing for like 3 weeks already. Last week in November, and all the trails were great. And this year, I have no idea. We're probably going to have last year they were saying we've got the longest season ever, and this year's probably going to be the shortest season this winter. So we'll see. We will see. I'm not giving up totally yet, but no, it's just been a kooky year. But then, like I say, El Nino will do that to you. It'll make those fluctuations especially where we are over here in the Pacific is more susceptible to the El Nino effect. And I guess the rest of the world does get some resonation from it, but it's more located around this neck of the woods. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Nice. We said on the last podcast, we've been focusing on doing as many markets this year as we can. And there was one weekend, was it in November, that we didn't have any markets, and it was tough to even find ones for that weekend. And then the 18th and the 25th of November seemed to be that gazillion to choose from. So
yeah, everybody and his dog.
It was the 25th of November. We actually had a market booked in this, just slightly inside the perimeter, at a place called the Bronx for Henderson Highway, that we had a market booked. And then we thought we got one in Mitchell on the Sunday, and then what turned into one market on the Saturday turned into 3, didn't it? So I trotted off to Landmark, you went to the Bronx, and we both met up in Oakbank to do a night market. So 3 in one day. Yeah,
and then one on Sunday as well. So it is what it is. I mean, like I say, we said in the last podcast that come second week of December, it was all going to end, and so it did. I mean, there was opportunities to do one kind of third week, but yeah, we just kind of didn't take it. It was...
And we got mixed reviews from vendors. We're in this Facebook group, market reviews of Manitoba, like farmers markets in and around the area, and it was mixed reviews on that particular day. Some of our friends had really good sales, and quite a lot of people didn't have any, because it was actually held by the Steelers ice arena. They were playing hockey that day, weren't they? It was like matches and stuff and games, should I say.
As with any market vendor, it depends what you're selling. You know what I mean? Some people, one smart cookie went there and was selling little dolls with hockey jerseys on, and literally sold out in 3 hours and went home.
Yeah.
Other people that weren't selling hockey themed stuff, or it wasn't food, because food always tends to go well at things like that, especially something different. So yeah, it all depends what you sell. I mean, people have different, and I mean, we're always looking for kind of markets for kind of what we sell in. We do like the make, bake it, grow it markets, I think we've said before. So we
prioritize that. And just staying with the markets and whatever, because we've been doing markets since probably April, May time, like we mentioned last time. And it meant that, unfortunately, I couldn't run my Saturday fitness classes because we were at markets every Saturday, every Sunday. But it's been actually really good from the point of fact that we've actually made a lot of connections and made a lot of friends, haven't we?
Market family now.
Friends. Yeah, we have got a market family. So
yeah, it's nice to see people at different events, or once or twice a year, and it's always good to chew the cud and see what other markets, again, what people are doing, what's good, what's bad. And like we said in the last podcast, I mean, we're kind of at that point now. We'd have to get Christmas out of the way, and like I say, we've had a rush up until it was. I was out in the city on Thursday. I don't know how many kilometers I did, but I was all over the map delivering stuff, and kind of got home late Thursday afternoon, and we'd had an open house here, so that kind of finished about 7:00. And we kind of sat down, and I said to Karen, it feels weird. I've got nothing to make.
Yeah.
I've got no signs to make, no boards to make, nothing to resin, nothing. We'd have been running around all week doing stuff. So it's been good.
Yeah.
So I'm just getting a couple of jobs in the house done now that have been hanging on forever.
Because we've had scaffolding up in that.
I knew you were going to bring this up.
Family room for like 2 years.
Get it, it's not 2 years.
Two Christmases. It's been
not
up there.
It's 14 months. It's not my fault. It just happened to fall before the light. I've been busy. It's a feature.
Yeah. But like, going back to the market vendor friends, we actually were at St Mary's Market, a garden centre in October, and one other vendor that we hadn't seen for quite a long time, probably since the beginning of the year or the previous year. And she came up to us and said, like, wow, your display and like your presentation and everything has just come on leaps and bounds. And what we found is, like, doing so many markets, you kind of learn what sells at certain markets, what doesn't, and we listen to what people want, don't we?
Well, that's what we've got to work out in the spring. Look at what we've got lists of stuff that we sold. And we're just going to look at what sold, what didn't sell, make more of what sold. But then I said to someone, you did like, so I think we've said before, you did one at the same place in August a couple of years ago, every Sunday in August, and every week you sold something different. So it's sometimes seasonal, sometimes just what people want on that day. So yeah.
And people are tightening their belts right now as well. So
yeah, things are tightening up a little bit.
Appreciate that. And, but the one thing that we didn't mention in the last podcast, we don't think, is my episode with a black hornet stinging me on the elbow. And I met two really nice paramedics and got to use my EpiPen for the very first time, and had a lovely ride in the ambulance to the hospital with Grace and Andrew. And I had this sting. I wasn't sure what it was at the time, but it was so violent that I knew it wasn't a wasp or a bee. And the more research we've done and spoken to somebody else, apparently it was a black hornet, because
black wasp,
but I didn't have any swelling in the regular response that I would to a wasp or a bee. And I came into the house and I just developed hives, like bikini line area, like on my chest, like under my arms, swelling on my face and around my eye and my mouth. And I'm phoning 911 and texting Richard at the same time, thinking he was on his way home and couldn't get hold of him, and texted him saying, "Can you call me?" And he sends a text back going, "I'm busy." And I'm like, well, this is kind of important, but you didn't know what it was.
Which I've been in trouble for ever since. I was busy.
So yeah, that was an interesting episode.
So when I finally got the phone call through, I'm in the middle of town, and Karen's been taken to the next town north of us called Selkirk, and I drove there in my car and beat the ambulance there. So I'm not saying I was going a little faster than I should have been, but it was, I
might have broke a few speed.
Well, needs must.
Glenn didn't quite stop at the four-way stops, but that was something that I don't want to experience again. So obviously going into the spring and summer this next year, we're going to have to be vigilant.
Although you did get stung by a bee 2 days after you came out of hospital, and you were fine. So it obviously wasn't a bee.
No, it wasn't. I did have just the normal reaction because I picked Booker up to snuggle him, and he must have had a bee or a wasp in his fur on his coat. And as I gave him a squeeze, then the bee obviously got stuck in between my elbow and...
stop mauling the cat then. Poor guy.
He loves it.
I've seen the look on his face. It's far from loving it.
So that was something that I don't want to experience again. But so I survived to tell the tale, and spending till 9:30 at night in the emergency and waiting room. And it's not what I'd call a fun afternoon and evening out. But
just wanted to kind of do a final-ish one of 23 and just kind of go over again a little bit of a recap on what we've been up to. I mean, majority of the last podcast was kind of a recap on where we'd been with the year, like I say, and with the bees at the minute, I'm just kind of a bit concerned. And like I say,
I've got a few products. Like I changed the shape of my soaps. I normally do them in like a rectangular block, and I did a bit of an experiment because my shampoo bar and my shaving bar I've done with a pebble-shaped mold, which ergonomically is like a nicer bar to hold. And so I did a bit of an experiment trying my regular soap recipe in the silicone-shaped molds, and everybody absolutely loves them.
Living on the edge, Jose.
Oh, yeah, we are. So they
cutting-edge stuff.
Yeah, they look good. They, from an ergonomic perspective, like they're easier to use. And so I'm keeping with those shapes. So you can check those out on the website. There are pictures of them on there. And one of the other things that I'm going to
get excited too.
Yeah, you can get excited and go, ooh, they look pretty. I've been looking at...
They smell like they look.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. I've been looking at a new product that I've been tweaking with like a bit of a recipe. So I do my solid foot massage bars and the paw and nose balm, and I've been looking at doing a magnesium solid lotion bar. So something that's not just going to have magnesium in there, it's going to have a lot of ingredients that help with muscle pain and aches and magnesium. If you've listened to our podcast, like when we previously just used to do them on really fitness and nutrition, like look up magnesium because you'll know that it's like qualified as the anti-stress mineral, and with regard to helping to relieve inflammation, even aches and pains in the body, then that's something that I've been looking at. So hoping that in early January that I'll have something that at least like I'll have some demo pieces, like just so that people can like try it and give me some feedback on it. And our friend Rosie, our English friends that we knew back in England 30 years ago, which probably too long that we want to remember.
I was 3.
Yeah. She was texting me the other day saying, I don't know if you've thought about it, but have you ever thought about developing something with your body scrub to help people when they've been in the garden? And I said, ironically, last year I did bring out my Garden Buddy hand relief scrub that was called, well, obviously it was called the Garden Buddy. So I said, great minds think alike. So I'm going to be bringing that one back out, and it's exciting time because we're starting thinking about buying seeds in like the garden.
Oh no, I was looking at the seed catalogue the other day. It's
you see, we do live on the edge.
Get in there. I was normally I would order my
look at adult magazines. You look at seed
catalogue. Things change. Yeah, it's I have actually last couple of years ordered my seeds already by this point in the year, but I'll probably do it after Christmas, which will be like day after tomorrow. So I'll probably do it next week and have a fish through and see what we could see. But again, one thing we have been doing again more this year is saving seeds. So I've saved probably 300 to 400 green beans and seeds and stuff like that. I just let 3 or 4 or 5 plants go and let them go all the way, rather than picking the beans when they're young and tender. Just let them go, and then in September when I'm pulling everything up, all the shells have hardened and the beans are inside. And I tried it last year, got a couple of 100 seeds out of it and put them all in the ground, and they all grew. And again, the beans I like the flavour of and everything. I've been leaving those ones specifically because it's a nice bean and a nice variety. So all the potatoes last year we got from our own seed. All the pepper plants pretty much last year were from our own seed. And
kept some peppers,
butternut squash seeds,
jalapeno.
Yeah. So again, we're just trying to, as much as we can, not buy seeds. Things like carrots and stuff, beets. It
was a good year for carrots.
Again.
Yeah.
But they're tough to go to get from the seed as well, because it tends to be a longer growing season than what we have. And I've let the beets go to seed before, but they just never get quite developed enough before the frost comes. So it's something I'll play with it again. I might let it, but I don't know. Some of the plants seed and then some of them don't. I don't know what the catalyst is for actually getting one to seed. So I'll have to do a little bit more research. But no, the less we can buy, the better. And the more we can.
Always an anomaly. You never know what's going to happen each year, right?
Just like bees, that's always the same thing with those guys. You just never know. But
and just going back quickly to the market side of things, one of the things that
we'd left that
we've been because I'm just slightly leading into what our next podcast is going to cover, because found that
teasing now.
Yeah, one of the markets that we've been going to. Well, 2 or 3 actually, but one that's about 50 minutes north of here. My Nature's Radiance has been like flying off the shelves. Like it's been picking up traction and getting. The encouraging thing is we've been getting lots of repeat business, haven't we? People coming back and being consistently attending the same markets, and people knowing that we're going to be there at certain ones. They go like, "Oh, I've run out. I need more," and that's been really encouraging with regard to repeat business, people being happy with it. And so the next podcast, I'm going to kind of focus on the Nature's Radiance, Nature's Skin Therapy, and we're going to touch on inflammation, like external and internal inflammation in and on the body. So the Nature's Radiance tackles a lot of what I call critical skin conditions, which we mentioned on the last one. So we're going to delve a little bit more into that side of it. But it's just, really encouraging the, repeat.
Will that be before the new year or after the new year?
I think before the new year.
Okay.
If I nag you enough.
We've not got, nothing new there. We've not got a log win on next week, so you can probably churn that out right before the new year. But we'll...
And the open house has been good because we've got everything set up in the basement. So one of the stock check, yeah. So inventory checks. And normally we've been getting to markets and going, crap, like we haven't got this sign, this price tag, this, and because we kind of unload the truck, leave everything in.
Don't want to see it. I throw it in a pile, and then I'll just, and then I worry about it Friday night when I got to load it up again.
We box it all up, and then unload the truck, leave it in a pile in the garage, cover it up, and then we load it back up again. And so,
surprisingly, not doing the Thursday night market, because the Thursday night we'd load everything up and go again. Then you'd kind of realise, oh, I'm missing this, and you'd do something about it for Saturday. And then you just kind of don't do it because you get caught up with other stuff. And again, we're gonna sit down and get a bit more of a system, because what we found again, even over the years of going camping, we get camping and turn up and say, crap, we forgot X, or we forgot. I mean, there was one year we went camping for a long weekend, and it was only a 3-dayer, luckily 2 nights. And we got there, and I says to Karen, I said, I can't believe how much room we've got in the back of the truck. And then I realised we didn't take any chairs. So we had to sit on a wooden park bench, picnic bench for 2 bloody days. And it was just
because we were like,
it's just the worst thing ever. There was nothing to sit on. Rather than,
I was going to say in the truck, which
yeah, it was just, yeah. So after that point, we basically got a checklist. So the stuff's going in, we just print a new one off, check everything off. And then when we went camping, we were never without. So, yeah, it's amazing what you can forget going camping. You think you've got all your base covered.
Go around the basement one day this coming week and just look at
make a checklist and, yeah. But again, even some of the indoor markets, I mean, you never know what you're going to get. Like on the last podcast, Karen said, you got the outdoor one, you got a 10 by 10 space. We know exactly where everything goes.
You can often spread out more than that.
We know where it goes in the truck. So with the indoor ones, we just take way more than what we need to take. And then some stuff just gets left in the truck because there's no space for it. But I'd rather do that than try and guess what space we're going to need and be without. And I mean, the last 2 markets we went to at the end of the season, the weather was crappy on both of them. So they did have some cancellations, and we snagged an extra table for free on both markets. Because like the market organisers say, I mean, what they don't want is empty tables. They don't want empty spaces, because when people come in, it doesn't look good. So I mean, on the last the last one we did, yeah.
Exactly, on the Sunday we got an extra one.
We had an 8-foot table, they supplied it, and then when we got there, and I said to the girl, can I put a stand-up display unit at the end of the table? She said, yeah. She says, oh, you can move across if you want, because the person next to you is not coming. I said, well, can we fill that table as well? She said, have you got enough for 2 tables? I said,
you've got enough for 4.
You haven't met my wife. I said, we've got enough for 4 bloody tables. So, I mean, it was hey-ho. But, yeah, so we're going to wrap it up, and we're going to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Or as Deadpool, or as, what's his name says in Deadpool, whatever it is, and convivial day in April.
Yeah. The East Indian taxi.
I can't think of his name.
Convivial,
Convivial Tuesday in April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, watch Deadpool 1 and 2. We were just talking about that earlier.
Yes, merry to all, and we will catch you before the new year, apparently.
Yeah.
Nag, nag, nag.
Yes, nag, nag, nag.
Bye.
Bye.